I cannot stand when people are like, what's wrong with you? Like, you have it so good. Yes, it's better right now than being eaten alive by a shark, or dealing with, like, having a child that has a terminal illness and seeing them suffer and eventually dying in front of your eyes. Of course, I know it could be 1,000 trillion times worse. I know. But there's just, like, it's hard to describe what is happening with, like, it's hard to be inspired to want to move forward. I used to have dreams, I used to have goals, and it just seems like it's, you can have that, but it just seems like it's almost impossible to achieve anything. And everything just seems like work. Like constant work, man. And that's why I said, like, if we had the technology for me to abandon my body and just be in the Matrix full time, I would rather be in the Matrix full time. I think me trying to sustain my body is just so much work, man. Whether it's having to go to the store and buy food, or cleaning supplies, and, you know, having human functions. I mean, some human functions are cool, like nice smells are cool, but then there's also bad smells. Human touch, well, if you don't get human touch, like, what's the point? And that's where I'm at. I don't get human touch. And I think a lot of young men can understand where I'm coming from. We're meant to, like, socialize. Even if, like an introvert like me, I definitely like to socialize, but with the small group of people that I feel comfortable with. When I feel really comfortable with somebody, my creativity can just blossom. If I feel like I have to, like, limit myself, or what is the word I'm looking for? Like, self-censor myself because somebody's feelings or whatever, then I start, like, closing down, and I'm just like, there's no point. But yeah, it feels like we're just being dehumanized. It feels like we're being conditioned to get rid of our emotions. That's what it feels like. I don't know if AGI has already taken over, and, like, everything that I'm seeing is just or like it's taken over, and it wants us to be more into, like, a centralized like communist style for its benefit. I don't know if there's, like, elite bankers who listen to AGI. I don't know, man. There's, like, technology we don't even know that's available. I don't know if it's, like, it just feels so, like I said, the best word to describe it is dehumanizing. What's happening here in America, how we keep separating from each other, and, you know, like, it's predicted that 45% of women are going to be childless and single by the time it's 2030, and that's like 6 years from now. Not even 6 years, like 5 years from now. And I can already see it. I can already see it happening. What it seems like is it seems like instead of women being conditioned for, like, you know, affection, like positive affection, like, you know, like holding hands or cuddling and stuff, their affection is more like have sex. And women don't need it as much as men, but that's just what it seems like to me, man. And I don't know. I'm just trying, what I try to do is try to gather different information, either whether it's personal experience or what I see other men going through on the internet, and I can possibly relate. I don't know. It definitely seems like there is a shift that's happened for rebellion. No, I like punk rock, man. I like the punk rock attitude. Not everything. I don't believe in anarchy. I think that anarchy is pretty absurd with mass population. I think that you need some type of control, and I think historically people have controlled the masses with religion. What's weird to me about religion, what's baffling to me about religion, you know, I listened to like multiple religions, and like the Christian religion that I was growing up with, you know, listening to the God, like and what's weird is these people who are conservatives are usually Christians who believe in freedom, but like they are slaves to God. But it's like, okay, if there is the God of the Bible, and God is loving, God granted me free will, but he's all-knowing, so he knows what I'm going to do regardless. What is the point of me? Why? Because like he already knows who's going to hell. So why create them to begin with? And then like this loving God's just going to send the people who don't worship him. They might have lived okay lives. I mean, nobody's perfect. But like they didn't really do anything heinous to deserve eternal suffering. But they go to hell forever. That just like, that's weird to me. That's why it's hard for me to go all in Christianity when I can't defend certain things. And I'm just supposed to be like, oh, you just gotta have faith. Then it's like I'm lying to myself and I'm lying to other people. I mean, if I move to somewhere where it's more like Christian orientated or whatever, man, whatever religion, I don't care. I'm gonna simulate. I'm gonna fake it. But for my own personal stance on it, it's like if I was God, and this is what they're like, oh, you don't understand, it's more than you could ever even understand, even fathom, like why God does what he does. It's like, why is there all these different religions, man? Wouldn't there just be one religion, and that's you follow God or you go or you follow evil? Like there's two religions, the good and the bad. You follow God, or you go. But there's not. There's like all these different types of religions, and then there's all these spin-offs of the Abrahamic religion, and it's like, which one's right? Muslims and the Judaism religions, they reject Jesus, but the Muslims look at him more like a messenger, so they don't deny like his power, but they don't recognize that he is like the Son of God. And then I think, which I'm in this extreme minority, so I'm probably wrong, you see all these different pagan customs in Christianity, whether it's Easter or Christmas, and you look in the Bible and it doesn't give a specific date of when Jesus was born, but we celebrate Christmas on the 25th of December, his birthday. But we also celebrate it by like with hedonism and materialism, which is kind of weird too. And so you have pagan customs with Christianity, And I'm told that you have three different, like, you have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, who are the divine Trinity. But they're not, they're all the same being, but they're all separate. Like, who was Jesus praying to before his crucifixion? That's what I want. Like, who was he praying to? Was he praying to himself? Like, if he is God, did he just become part of God after he passed away? But he got reborn too. And why is there no prophets like nowadays? What it feels like religion is, it pushes fear to control people. That's what it feels like. Because like I said, if I was a loving God and I created beings and they rejected me, or at least like thought of me suspiciously, because ultimately the Bible is written by man, and it has been, what is the word I'm looking for? Re-edited, or it was in a different language and it's been like translated multiple times. And you have some texts that seem like they were like literal, and then you have other texts that seem like they were kind of like fiction, like Noah's Ark or spreading the sea. Like, I'm not saying that never happened. I'm just saying, like, it would be cool. Like this is what I would do if I was God. I would definitely, when that person, like, since I'm all powerful and I can do it, whatever. Well, when that entity that I create, a human, when they become adolescent and they can know the difference between, when they become that age of maturity, or I determine if they die right now, they know the difference between evil and bad, good or whatever, and this person, they will go to hell or they go to heaven. I would come in their life. I would just freeze time. Why not? I would freeze time, and then I'd be like, hey, come on with me. I'm going to show you. You follow me, or you're going to come here. Or I'm going to give you a tour through hell. And I'm going to give you a tour through heaven. But no, we don't have that. I mean, that's what I would do, to try to give people a chance. I think that most people in the past were scared to think, like, criticize religion, because they were afraid to be ostracized by their community. People needed their community so hardcore for survival, and they didn't want, they used to burn witches alive. I mean, think about being burnt alive. That sounds like a horrible death. So it kept people in their place. I'm not an atheist. I don't think that all of this just like happened. I don't know if it's the creator in the Bible or whatever, or there's multiple creators, or we were created by aliens. Maybe they took up some species on this planet and mixed us somehow. I don't know, man. I'm just open to different thoughts, and I'm open-minded, and I realize I don't know everything, but I am suspicious. I'm suspicious when I see people like Joel Osteen, or like, what's the other ones? Pat Robertson. I forgot the one, the big one. he's worth like probably $1 billion now. When I see these people profiting off of Jesus, it's one thing to like gather resources and you're helping people, which I'm not saying they don't, but like, why are you worth so much money? Like, you're supposed to, like, especially being a leader, shouldn't you receive your reward in heaven? You know, that's why I get skeptical. And I'm not. I just think that atheists are just, these people are intelligent, but man, I feel energy. I feel negative. I feel good. Sometimes, you know, I can feel like the hair stand up on the back of my neck. Go into a negative place where there's probably negative entities, spirits, energy. I don't know what it is. What it feels like right now is dark energy is controlling this world. And the rebellion against it is, it's actually winning. The rebellion is Trump. Like, he's the most punk rock thing I've ever seen in my life. When he got shot and he stood up and raised his fist, not knowing if there was another shooter, in defiance. I don't know what to believe from that. I have my suspicions. You call me conspiracy theorist, whatever. I think that the Secret Service stood down. I don't know if that kid was hired. I heard there was bank accounts that's offshore. I don't know. Not enough information for me to be like, yes, the government put him in there. But what I do see is, like, they knew he was walking around. There's a sniper. They've already seen him they already spotted him 2 minutes before he actually shot. You would think that the police officer that went up there, the guy turned and you know, pointed a gun at him. You would think they would be a little bit more aggressive. You know, going up there and shooting them, or you would think in an event like that they would be able to communicate with everybody. The coordination was absolutely horrendous. It doesn't seem like if you're in that type of level of trying to secure the most popular person on this planet, you would think the coordination of security being able to talk to each other, whether it's local police or Secret Service, with all the technology we have nowadays, would be very sufficient. There wouldn't be blunders in it. And it just seems like, why would that happen? Like, that should never happen. How could it happen? How could that kid have the perfect view? Another thing, too, is these school shooters. Like, they always use an AR-15, which is so weird. And you would think, okay, the first school shooters, Columbine, they're ultra famous. Okay, ultra famous. Anyone that does it after that, they're not going to be as famous. So, if they're doing it for fame, they're basically going to be in the news cycle for like 2 days. And do they not know this? Like, and they're just going to be forgotten. And it's always an AR-15, and then I've heard of things like MK Ultra. to feel the tension from in society right now, it feels like, man, even for me, like, it feels like one thing happens, I'm just gonna flip out. But not like to that extent. I would never go and do anything crazy like that. Would never hurt any other one else, anybody. And I'm just saying, like, socially, like, just have a social meltdown where I'm all over the internet, just like saying absurd things and being recorded looking like a crazy individual. That's what I say about a meltdown. But like, for these other people, man, if you're thinking about going out and hurting, you don't care about your life, and it doesn't matter if you live or die or whatever, and you want to take out innocent people, like, the best thing to do is, first off, get help, but definitely don't take out innocent people. If anything, like, yeah, just, I can't say it, but I think you guys know where I'm hitting at. I don't trust our government. I don't trust it. I don't trust it at all. And we have these major influencers like Lauren Chan and Tim Pool. It seems like they've been paid with Russian influence. And it's kind of funny how this stuff is coming out right now after Tim's trying to sue Kamala for defamation. It's kind of funny. The left always has something up their sleeves. The government always has something up their sleeve to try to demoralize the people on the right, to try to demoralize the anti-establishment. And I'm not anti-establishment when it comes to, like, we need some type of establishment. I'm just for, like, more decentralized. It's like when I was listening to the George Washington book, and I understood, like, man, trying to like, what those soldiers went through, not getting paid, basically. I think some of them ate their horses, and like, some of them went like days without eating, and their clothes were tattered. Probably didn't have enough ammo. So raising enough to defend yourself with a centralized entity to try to mobilize, of course, but I just think when you have too much control of that, when it has too much control, it creates corruption. I see how the government uses, and it comes out that it uses Meta for censorship, censoring people. They don't like it. Even Kamala said she's gonna, like, come out and say stuff, and they're gonna do stuff against misinformation, hate speech, which is all what I think about that is, I hate that stuff. I think that stuff sucks. But it is freedom of expression, freedom of speech. How you combat that? Well, community notes is one. Another is putting some type of watermark on AI generated photos. That's another one. I think there needs to be more decentralized studies, instead of just having, like, the government paying for studies. Scientists can be corrupted. Oh, I'll tell you what you want to hear because you're going to keep funding me. You keep giving me money. So it's hard to believe. On both sides, man. I want the correct information. And that's what I think that's what I thought the mainstream media was, and I think it, for the most part, it was at one point. But I also think, and I see how advertisement, how TV has programmed people, so much so, where they don't have any type of critical thinking. Some of them, from what I'm hearing, have no internal monologue, which sounds like they're NPCs, but I don't think that they're just NPCs, and I think that they can be woken up, but I just think they're just so brainwashed and hypnotized. And everything is on automatic for them. I don't know. I also see in this society, the average man doesn't have a chance with an average woman. So what's the incentive to work hard? Why? Oh, it'd be like Andrew Tate. Oh, you gotta do it. You'd be ultra masculine. Dude's ultra masculine. Wonder how masculine he was sitting behind a keyboard saying sexual things to other men. That sounds pretty masculine to me. But, he's ultra successful and a lot of people like him. So, who the hell am I to criticize, right? Just seems fake. Just seems phony. And that's what I see a lot of this society, just fake and phony. I hate being a part of it. I wish it was better, man. I wish it was better. You know how bad it sucks to have in the back of your mind always. You're one big injury from being bankrupt. You're one big injury from being on the street. What does society give a shit about me? Look how society treats veterans who actually fight and die, lose limbs, get burnt alive. Look how our society treats them. They go to war. Maybe some do it for a check. Some do it for the love of the country. Maybe like a Pat Tillman. They come back ridiculed, spit on. Maybe not literally nowadays like they were when Vietnam. But you might as well, how they're treated, come back with PTSD. What if society doesn't care about these people who actually paid the ultimate sacrifice, gave up limbs, went to war and completely intact, and came back looking like a monster, because of third-degree burns. Some of them have like fake noses, and you can tell. And society doesn't give a fuck about these people. They'll say they do. But you see these homeless people on the streets, missing limbs. Why would they give a fuck about me? I'm playing basketball, so I'm going to play basketball. Boom, Achilles, I'm out 9 months. What does that mean for me? There's no social safety net. And the fact that you see people on welfare being treated better than people like me who actually work and keep this infrastructure moving forward is just insane. Demoralizing, like constantly. So not only am I looked down on society because my job isn't prestige. Mind you, I work. I pay my bills. I stay out of trouble. Try to do the right thing. Wow. Women don't appreciate that nowadays. They don't. It's either they want this Prince Charming who is extremely rare, and if I was him, you think I'm going to settle down with just you when I have all these women thirsting for my attention? Or they go for like, oh, he's masculine, but he's a complete loser. He's a criminal. He doesn't have a job. He gets me drugs, or he puts on this image. Like, yeah, I could put on whatever image too. It's not that hard. It's not really hard. Yo, dog, what up, dog? Yo. Like, that's what they like, is thug. So if you're an average guy, you're fucked. If you want a woman and you're an average guy, you gotta settle for somebody that's like a 1. And how is that inspiring? How am I supposed to be inspired to want to achieve more or work hard for that? Why do I want to go to the gym and fucking lift weights? Oh, you do it for yourself. The red pill goes, you do it for yourself. Like, these same guys, every video they're talking about women. Every fucking video. Whether they're trying to educate men or whatnot, they still are obsessed with women. Oh, women are like a bracelet to you, like your life. They're an accessory. Fucking bullshit. They're an accessory if you don't give a shit, and they're just like a fucking piece of merchandise, a fucking piece of clothing to you, a materialistic thing. Why aren't people having kids, Elon? Why aren't people having kids nowadays? Tim Pool, why aren't people having kids? I mean, I don't know why it's so hard for these people to understand. You know why it's hard for these people to not understand why people aren't having kids? These rich, and I'm not saying that they never came from anything, like they came from squander. I'm not saying they haven't. But when they were coming up, it was a little bit easier to come up than it is now. Why aren't people want to have kids? I don't know. Maybe because you look at society and you say, man, we both have to work. Then we have to send our kids to school. Who's going to be indoctrinated? Who knows what the teacher's saying and telling my kids? You be this pronoun, that pronoun. What like, this, that, communist, this, that. And then you have to worry about your kid getting shot. Like, this is not a family-friendly environment for most people. If you want to have a family-friendly environment, you have to have money. You have to have enough money to have a stay-at-home wife or dad, but it's preferred the wife, so she can teach those kids. She can mold them when they're young with her emotional intelligence. That's what they need. the security, the emotion. They don't need to be pawned off to a grandpa or a grandma. They don't need to be pawned off to daycare. Oh, why is daycare so much demand? We live in a society that it's normal for both parents to work. That's why. Why is there so much money? Even if hypothetically you was to have that much money to have a stay-at-home wife, and that's a huge luxury for you red pill Elon out here in the working class, middle class. Man, if you was to have a stay-at-home wife and you have one income supporting your family, she's got to be humble. I hardly see any humble American women. I'm not saying they don't exist, but I'm just saying most American women are pretty high maintenance nowadays. They're pretty high maintenance. So high maintenance that even if like you have a regular job and you have a decent income, oh, here's a plumber. Ew. I don't like him because of his job. I wonder why people aren't having kids or inspired to have kids. It's not that difficult, man. It's really not. And we have 8 billion people, man. Like, seriously, like when you have these people out here telling people to have kids, but we have kids starving to death in this world. Like, are you kidding me? Why are we not taking care of these kids? Why are you telling people to have kids and these kids aren't being taken care of? These kids are starving to death. It's ridiculous. Oh, depopulation is such a crisis. Yes, for old people. Listen, man, if you're old and we don't have the technology, you're going to be forgotten about. It's going to be really hard for you. I hope you saved, man. Especially you boomers. You raised your kids to not give a shit about you because you showed them you don't give a shit about them. Oh, you took care. I'm not saying all boomers. I'm saying in Gen X, you took care of their physical, their material things. You didn't take care of their emotional health. Oh, why do we have a mental health problem? I don't know. Maybe because there's no family structure. Maybe because nobody gives a shit about kids' mental health or emotional health. Maybe because a lot of parents just look at their kid as like a material possession instead of a human being. Maybe because a lot of parents who say they put their kids first actually put their kids last and put their self-interest first. Like me. You know, I didn't stay together with my ex-wife. I'm a product of failed marriage. Multiple failed marriages. Stepfather, too. That one was a failed one as well. Here's the difference is I didn't get remarried, and I did try, which I'm a hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite. But I didn't follow through. And I understand the concept, but it's like, we don't need more fucked up people, okay? So quit telling people to have fucking kids if they're going to be raised in a shitty fucking environment, you assholes. Elon and fucking Tim Pool, fucking, who's it, Matt Walsh? Fuck off, man. Don't be telling people to have kids so they can be raised in shitty fucking environments and become shitty fucking people. If I'm given the choice and I'm a creator and civilization is just going to perish like the rat experiment or the mouse utopia experiment, good riddance. Good riddance, humanity. Fuck it. You deserve to perish. You deserve to go extinct. You don't give a fuck about kids. All you look at them as like fucking slaves. I think that there's more that is going on than just people don't have spirituality in their life. They don't have God. That's like the easy cop out. There's more. I think it's community. I think it's lack of any type of emotional intelligence or maturity. I tell my kids, don't fucking have kids right now. Sure. Do you think that I wouldn't like being a fucking grandparent? I wouldn't fucking mind it. Yeah, if I fucking had a fucking nice house, a wife, come and visit. Yeah. I could, provide some type of support. Yeah, cool. I can't. Dude, I'm barely making it as on my own. And this is why I tell kids, like, in this environment that young people are being raised in, you can't fuck up, man. You can't make any huge mistakes. You can make little ones. You can't make gigantic mistakes, man. And what I see, especially with college, how they push it. How are young people allowed to make such a huge decision, financial decision, that can put them in debt for the next 30, 40 years of their life? Maybe having to pay back double of what they borrowed. Maybe even more than double. Who the fuck knows? At such a young age, are they gonna let them have a house? Are they gonna let them have a car? You know how hard it is to build up credit? Just so you get a credit card, but the government just gives these kids, here you go. Nah, college is great. Yeah, just go to college and be okay. Okay, for what? What should I go to college for? Well, I look at things, and I'm looking at the future, and I'm looking at the advancement of technology, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't need to memorize shit. Fuck, I don't even need to learn any other languages. I'm sitting here typing different languages all on my social media with AI. MIT has all their courses for free, and I can learn whatever I want. What's the point? What is the point? There's a vast amount of people who are smarter than me, have higher IQs, that have already went through like IT, all the degrees or licensing. Why would I try to compete in that when they're already established? They have their stuff. It's like, okay. Then I guess trades. Trades are the ones to go to because people are soft. People don't want to get their hands dirty. But it's like, what are you going to go to college for? Being a lawyer? Well, I can go to a chat bot and ask these lawyers different. Of course, we're not going to need as many lawyers. We're not going to need as much IT people in the future. In the near future, we're not going to need as many doctors. So what am I going for? Why am I spending all this money? Why am I spending all this time trying to learn stuff that it can be outdated within 6 months? Like, whatever I just learned is already outdated. So, these kids are being lied to. It's ridiculous, man. It just seems like so much is like I don't understand how we're still sustaining this. It feels like we should have already had some type of like major collapse, financial collapse. You know, when you have companies who reject their customers. For instance, I can buy a video game, spend full price on it, and they ban me from it. Okay? Do I get my money back? No. I don't know. I haven't been, but people do. You have Hollywood that continues to put out these crap movies that nobody cares about, and they keep flopping, but they keep doing it. You have Gillette hating on men, the number one people that buy their, number one demographic that buys their product. See, it's like, it used to be customers first, man. Customer's always right. Now it's the company's always right. Fuck the customer. Well, how is that sustainable? How are these companies staying afloat? Dude, I don't want to sit here and like, I want to boycott this one, boycott. I can't buy this because I got to boycott. Who the fuck wants to live like that? Why can't we just be like, just like sell the fucking shit and just shut the fuck up with your politics? Try to put the best product out there for us. Here we go, fucking DEI bullshit. We gotta put the... Man, if somebody's being discriminated and they should get the job, sue the fuck out of these companies into bankruptcy. And you know what else is fucking funny to me too is like, these companies that are so fucking massive, they're too big to fucking fail. They're too big to fail. And then they come begging to the government for a bailout because they fucked up. Instead of being like, fuck, we gotta start selling some of our assets because we're fucked. Guess what happens? What happens to me? Well, I have a big debt, right? Well, shit. If I can't pay my fucking debts, I have to start selling my assets. That's what regular people have to do. Why aren't these companies doing it? Somebody's always going to buy up fucking assets, man. Especially if they're pennies on the fucking dollar. It's just like these companies are just being ran into the fucking ground. You don't promote people based off of what they look like. You promote people who are best at the job. It doesn't matter if they're a white person, a black person, an Asian person, a man, a woman, both. Who the fuck cares? I want the best person running the company. I want the best people for whatever position. I want the best leadership. I don't care what they look like. I don't care about their background. I don't care if it's all black people running the fucking company. You think that I want DEI, white people being put in there if they just because, let's just throw a fucking random white person doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. This company is run great by these black people, by black leadership, and then you throw a white person in for DEI because, oh, we're gonna have that fucking inclusion so he can just start fucking shit up. No, man. You put people who will be best at the position. We don't all come from the same place, man. And we won't ever all come from the same place. No matter what we do. We won't all start at the same place. But what we can do is we can make it better for the future. You can make it better for your fucking kids. And if we start losing the ability to, which we are, to better our situation, then we fucking lose hope, man. You see lack of innovation, you see lack of fucking creativity, you see lack of drive, you see everything just turn into shit. That's what we see. That's what I see. I'm not inspired, man. I'm not inspired by this. I'm not inspired to have a big house, to have a nice fucking car, to have a big bank account. I'm not inspired to have a fucking 10 as a wife. I don't even want that. That doesn't inspire me. I guess I'm like in the extreme minority with my mindset. Most people don't agree with me, so I guess I'm wrong. For me, I'm fine with just having somebody at my level. I don't need a 20-year-old woman, 25-year-old woman. I would be content with a woman around my age. She could be 10 years older, 10 years younger, as long as I'm attracted to her. She's not taking from me. She's not out cheating on me. She's loyal. Don't have little kids. I don't fucking want to raise kids no more, man. I don't want to deal with that shit. We build a life together. No, it's not about that. I have to have everything. I have to have everything. It's not like, hey, we can. There's no like seeing potential in people. It's like these women are like, you already have to have, like, I'm not inspired, man. I'm not inspired for what I see. The Andrew Tate lifestyle does not inspire me, not in the least bit. Not in the least bit. He's got 10s around him. Maybe that's cool to like 20-year-olds. But that doesn't inspire me, man. I don't even want to talk to 10s. Yeah, they look fine. Yeah, they look good. They look very appealing. But it's like, they don't have any substance. Why are people feeling hopeless? Why aren't people having kids? I think I did a pretty good job explaining myself in this video. Explaining why people aren't having kids. Why aren't people driven? You know, I'm an old man. I'm an old man. You know, oh, I'm lack testosterone. I don't think I lack testosterone. I don't. I think I actually have pretty good testosterone for my age, honestly. And I still have drive. I do. I still have drive. It's like, I don't even want to give women attention at this point. So it's like, they have to put in all the work. Because it just feels cringe. Like, if I get in some woman's DMs, it just seems like I have to, like, try to, like, try so hard. And it just feels cringe at this point. So, for me, a woman has to show she's interested in me. And for me, like, they don't show anything. So, I'm not appealing to them at all, I guess. Not in the least bit. Whether it's in real life or on the internet. So, I'm truly an incel, which is crazy to me. Crazy. Because before COVID, I wasn't. And honestly, if I become somebody else, if I fake it, yeah, I can probably go back into the hookup culture. I don't want that. That didn't do anything for me. All that did was try to fill holes, man. That's all that did. And then I'm like putting myself at risk, and I'm putting other people at risk. I might contract an STD and then pass it on. I just don't want to deal with that. And from my past discretions, I deserve to be alone for the rest of my life. That's cool. But what I'm feeling, a lot of men are feeling, and they didn't go through all that crap that I've went through with the hookup hookup culture. And a lot of young men are feeling the same way. Maybe not exactly the same as me, but they can relate. I guarantee you a lot of young men can relate to this video. But I talked enough.